All right, welcome to Story Time with Dane and Miss Ashley. Today we're going to read a story called Old Bear by Jane Hissey. So the title of the story is Old Bear, and the author who wrote the story is Jane Hissey. All right, let's enjoy the book Old Bear. Maybe you have a bear at home that is special to you. Old Bear. It wasn't anybody's birthday, but Bramwell Brown had a feeling that today was going to be a special day. He was sitting thoughtfully on the windowsill with his friends Duck, Rabbit, and Little Bear when he suddenly remembered that someone wasn't there who should be there. Somebody is missing. We're getting some glare. Hold on one second.
I'll read it.
Okay, that's so much better. Oh, okay. Great. A very long time ago, he had seen his good friend Old Bear being packed away in a box. Then he was taken up a ladder through a trap door and into the attic. The children were being too rough with him, and he needed somewhere safe to go for a while. You see the ladder going up to the attic? Has he been forgotten, do you think? Bramwell asked his friends. I think he might have been, said Rabbit. Well, said Little Bear, isn't it time he came back down with us? The children are older now and would look after him properly. Let's go and get him. What a marvelous idea, said Bramwell. But how can we rescue him? It's a long way up to the attic, and we haven't got a ladder. We could build a tower of bricks, suggested Little Bear. Rabbit collected all the bricks, and the others set about building the tower. It grew very tall, and Little Bear was just putting on the last brick when the tower began to wobble. Look out, he cried, as the whole thing came tumbling down. Oh no. Never mind, said Bramwell, helping Little Bear to his feet. Just have to think of something else. What would you do to get the bear from the attic? Old Bear would like to come down and see his friends. How can they get to the attic? Let's try making ourselves into the tower, said Duck. Good idea, said Bramwell. Little Bear climbed on top of Rabbit's head. Rabbit hopped onto Duck's beak, and they stretched up as far as they could. But then Duck opened his beak to say something. Rabbit wobbled, and they all collapsed on top of Bramwell. Sorry, said Duck. Perhaps that wasn't a very good idea. Not one of your best, replied Bramwell from somewhere underneath the heap. Should we scoot everyone closer so they can see that? There we go. I know, said Rabbit. Let's try bouncing on the bed.
No.
That's an idea. You don't think that's going to work, Dane?
No, I think they're going to fall.
Dane thinks they're going to fall off the bed. Do you think this is a good idea, or are they going to fall off the bed? Let's find out. Trust you to think of that, said Bramwell. You never can resist a bit of bouncing, especially when it's not allowed. Rabbit climbed onto the bed and began to bounce up and down. The others joined him. They bounced higher and higher, but still they couldn't reach the trap door in the ceiling.
I see the bear up in the sky. Way up there.
Duck began to cry. Oh dear, he sobbed. What are we going to do now? We'll never be able to rescue Old Bear, and he'll be stuck up there getting lonelier and lonelier forever and ever. They're worried. That means they're worried about him. We mustn't give up, said Bramwell firmly. Come on, Little Bear, you're good at ideas. But Little Bear had already noticed the plants in the corner of the room. I wonder what Little Bear's idea is. What do you think he's going to use the plants in the corner of the room for? I've got it, he cried. I could climb up this plant, swing from the leaves, kick the trap door open, and jump in. In case it wobbled, Bramwell Brown, Duck, and Rabbit steadied the pot. Little Bear bravely climbed up the plant till he reached the very top leaf. He took hold of it and started to swing to and fro, but he swung so hard that the leaf broke, snap, and he went crashing down. Luckily, Bramwell Brown was right underneath to catch him in his paws. That was a rotten idea, said Little Brown. A rotten idea would be a bad idea, like a rotten piece of fruit. What was I thinking, said Doc. Almost. What I was thinking, said Doc, was that it is a pity I can't fly very well, as I could have been quite a help. Aha, said Bramwell. That, my dear Duck, has given me a very good idea. I really think this one might work. I hear a clue in there. I hear the word fly. That's a clue maybe telling us what's going to come next. And it will help us make a good prediction. What is he going to use to fly with? Dan, what is he going to use to fly with?
That.
What's that?
That's
An airplane. In the corner of the playroom was a little wooden airplane with a propeller that went round and round and round. We could use this plane to get to the trap door, said Bramwell. Rather dangerous, I know, but quite honestly, I can't bear to think of Old Bear up there alone for a minute longer. I'll be pilot, said Rabbit, hopping up and down, making airplane noises. What noises would an airplane make, Dane? Zoom. I'll be pilot, said Rabbit, hopping up and down, making airplane noises. And I'll stand on the back and push the trap door open with my paintbrush, said Little Bear. But how will you get down? Asked Duck. I've already thought of that, said Bramwell, who hadn't really, but quickly did. They can use these handkerchiefs as parachutes, and we'll catch them in a blanket. Do you think it's going to work? What's your prediction? Dane, do you think their plan's going to work?
No.
No? Let's see. Bramwell gave Little Bear 2 big handkerchiefs and a torch so he could see into the attic. The torch is a kind of light. Then he began to wind up the propeller of the plane. Rabbit and Little Bear climbed aboard, and Bramwell began the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0! They were off. The plane whizzed along the carpet and flew up into the air. See? They're flying on the plane. The little plane flew beautifully, and the first time they passed the trap door, Little Bear was able to push the lid open with his paintbrush. Then Rabbit circled the plane again, this time very close to the hole. Little Bear grabbed the edge, and with a mighty heave, he pulled himself inside. He got out his torch and looked around. The attic was very dark and quiet, full of boxes, old clothes, and dust. And he couldn't see Old Bear. Any bears in here? He whispered. Any bears in here? He whispered.
No.
And stood still to listen. From somewhere quite near, he heard a muffled grrr, followed by, "Did somebody say something?"
And that.
That's a tractor.
I want it.
That looks like fun to play with.
I want it.
Little Bear moved a few things aside, and there, propped up against a cardboard box and covered in dust, was Old Bear. Dane, did they find him?
No.
Where is he? See him? Where's Old Bear? There's Old Bear. What is he doing in the attic? Dane, what is he doing? What is he looking at? What's this? Is it a book? Yeah, he's reading a book. Little Bear jumped up and down with excitement. Old Bear, I've found Old Bear, he shouted. So you have, said Old Bear. Have you been lonely? Asked Little Bear. Quite lonely, said Old Bear, but I've been asleep a lot of the time. Well, said Little Bear, almost done. Would you like to come back to the playroom with us? That would be lovely, said Old Bear, but how will we get down? Don't worry about that, said Little Bear. Bramwell has thought of everything. He's given us these handkerchiefs to use as parachutes. Good old Bramwell, said the old Teddy. I'm glad he didn't forget me. Old Bear stood up and shook the dust out of his fur, and Little Bear helped him into his parachute. They went over to the hole in the ceiling. Ready, shouted Rabbit. Steady, shouted Duck. Go, shouted Bramwell Brown. Two bears leapt bravely from the hole in the ceiling. Their handkerchief parachutes opened out, and they floated gently down, landing safely in the blanket. They're floating down. Welcome home, Old Bear, said Bramwell, patting his friend on the back. The others patted him too, just to make him feel at home. It's nice to have you back, they said. It's nice to be back, replied Old Bear. Hold on.
To Old Bear.
Where's Old Bear?
That's Old.
That's right, Old Bear's in the middle. Everyone's hugging Old Bear. It's kind of like when an old friend goes away and then you get to see them again. It is so exciting. That night, when all the animals were tucked up in bed, Bramwell thought about the day's adventures and looked at the others. Rabbit was dreaming. Oh, we got fish last page. Exciting dreams about bouncing as high as an airplane. Duck was dreaming that he could really fly and was rescuing bears from all sorts of high places. Little Bear was dreaming of all the interesting things he had seen in the attic, and Old Bear was dreaming about the good times he would have now that he was back with his friends. I knew it was going to be a special day, said Bramwell Brown to himself. The end.
Old Bear.
Yeah, these are the characters. There's pictures of Old Bear and Bramwell Brown and Duck and Little Bear and Rabbit. All of the characters in the book. I would love to hear about how you thought of this book or what you thought of this book. I'll see you next time. Dane, say bye to everyone.
Bye.
We can't wait to read with you again soon.